Hey everyone, Sparrow Spalding here, and I had to take a moment today and make a video about the Gwyneth Paltrow Terry Sanderson case. I was so excited that a verdict was rendered today. I've been kind of attached to this case. I've been watching it closely, and I was so thankful that the jury ruled in Gwyneth's favor. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this, but oh my goodness. And first of all, you know what? I need to make a disclaimer. I am not here to diagnose anyone. I am just giving my thoughts and observations based on the televised court case. I'm not offering any official diagnosis. I've never met either of these people, okay? But that being said, I talk a lot about narcissism, obviously, on this channel. I talk a lot about covert narcissism. And I'm really seeing this case as, Mr. Sanderson, he's exhibiting a lot of traits of covert narcissism. And, this whole victim mentality, oh my goodness. I mean, again, rather textbook. And, it's really interesting, to back up. First of all, I think this accident on the ski slope happened about 7 years ago. And I think Mr. Sanderson was about 76 at that time. Blind in one eye, nearly blind in the other eye, or half 50-50 vision in the other eye. This person should not even be driving a car, let alone skiing on a mountain. That is not safe, right? And they kind of overlook that part. Like, he shouldn't even been out there. But he said that, Gwyneth ran into him. Gwyneth said he ran into her. The evidence was overwhelming that this person was lying. And what do we know about narcissists? Hello, they lie. They lie. And you know what? Maybe there's a little bit of a hybrid narcissism going on here. There's some overt stuff and some covert stuff. I mean, here we went lying in front of the country, in front of a judge. And I don't know if he just convinced himself that this was the case, or he, really somehow believed it, because a lot of narcissists do believe the lie that they're telling as it's coming out of their mouth. So, did he convince himself that Gwyneth hit him? He probably did, but he's lying. It's so obvious he was lying, and he had no evidence to corroborate his story. And also his health issues, right? His health issues had been going on for a decade prior to this ski crash, right? But if I look at him from, a psychological perspective, and I'm looking at the entire person, according to Erickson's psychosocial stages of development, he is in that integrity versus despair stage. And that usually happens at about age 65, where you look back on your life and, hopefully you have a good sense of integrity, that you lived it well. And if you didn't, you'd sometimes, then you become like a bitter old curmudgeon. You can become a giant asshole, make people miserable around you because you're not proud of your life, right? So just my theory here, but I think, hearing about this guy's life, he had several failed marriages. He had to go to anger management. He wasn't nice to people. He wasn't nice to his kids. He had strained relationships. He had a lot of physical ailments. He drank. This person, sadly sounds like a bit of a trauma survivor to me, but somebody who never really got the appropriate help. And he probably looked back on his life and was in despair about it, right? But he sees this one golden ticket, right? If I can, sue Gwyneth Paltrow, get this money, because originally I think he was suing for over $3 million. I can leave my family a legacy. Who knows? Maybe he didn't have a bunch of money in the bank to leave his family. I can leave a legacy. My life won't be in vain. All of these health ailments won't be in vain. And I can kind of go out smelling like a rose. Again, just my assessment, but I think there's some credibility to it. And, he didn't seem like a person, he sounded like a person who traveled, right, tried to have a good time, but he didn't seem like a genuinely good person. I really often wondered when I was watching the trial, did he have much to be proud of? It didn't seem like he had a lot to be proud of in his life. And then you have Gwyneth over here on the other side, and a lot of people said, why fight this? Why take the time? You're an important person, go ahead and settle. But I'm so glad she didn't. And I think, again, just my assessment, but I think there might be a number of reasons. First off, what do we know about Gwyneth? I think she's about 50, 51. And that's a menopausal age. And when women hit that age, and I can attest to this because I'm 50, and it started probably around, age 48, I really stopped taking people's bullshit to like next level, standing up for myself and just shutting things down. And I thought it was kind of funny when she said he ran into her, she cussed him out. Because at first I'm like, well, that's not really gracious. And if an old man ran into me on a ski slope, would I cuss him out? And then I thought, well, maybe the old me wouldn't, but this me at 50 very well might actually cuss a person out if they injured me, if I was caught off guard, whatever. And I think, that's part of the stage of life where you just keep losing your filter there. But also she has kids that she's raising, and she's got to be a good example. And so I really admire her for saying, I'm going to do the right thing. It's going to be painful. She's going to have to sit there and hear lies about her, day after day, all day long. And she, this woman runs a business. I don't think she does much with acting anymore, but she runs this big business. I'm sure she's got lots of commitments. And yet she took the time out to do the right thing and not let this lying man, manipulate her, take advantage of her, use her, and make a mockery out of her. And I'm just so proud of her for that. I'm really, excited. I got a little teary when I saw the verdict because I was like, she's sitting up in that witness stand, but that could be any of us. Think about how many times, I don't know how many of you ski, but I ski, and how many times there could have been a near miss in my skiing career. No one ever really ran into me, thank goodness. I take that back. One person did try to take me out getting off the ski lift one time. But other than that, it could be anybody's. That could have happened to me, and then somebody's trying to sue me. Not that I'm famous or anything, but let's just say somebody wanted to be sue happy, right? People do it all the time. And so I watched her, and I was just so grateful that she did the right thing, that she fought, and that she won. They didn't mention if she's going to get attorney's fees. I really hope she does. I hope she does, because I think she's deserving of it. And, when I look at Gwyneth, obviously she's been in the public eye for decades, right? And I remember her best. I haven't seen all of her movies, but I remember her best from Shakespeare in Love. That's when I was really like, oh, she's a great actress. But I've watched some of her stuff over the years, and one thing I've noticed about her is she's a person that really tries to do the right thing, right? She tries to eat the right diet. She tries to exercise and take care of herself. She steams her hoo-ha, for crying out loud. This is a woman who tries to do the right thing. She consciously uncoupled with Chris Martin over a period of years, right? This person, her former husband and the father of her children. And by the way, she married him because she had a surprise pregnancy. And again, a person who tried to do the right thing. But she consciously uncoupled with him in such a nice, loving way. This is a person who tries to do the right thing. Does she always do the right thing? I don't know. I'm not the judge and jury, but I think she really tries. And so she stood up for herself, and I think she stood up for so many of us in the process, and I'm just really grateful. Back to Sanderson. And I'm not going to sit here, by the way, and analyze the whole case. I'm not an attorney. I'm a retired psychotherapist, so I'm talking about it more from a psychological perspective, but there's a lot of great lawyers out there who are analyzing this case and doing a good job. But the legal counsel was kind of iffy on both sides. I thought, I don't think they brought their A game, either of them. I thought it was a bit of a circus. But, back to Sanderson, again, you could just see the anger and the bitterness and the resentment just seeping out of his pores. And, I think what happened to him with all of his ailments and his white matter brain disease, and all of this is that, his poor choices caught up with him in life, and he couldn't see well. He was having, brain issues, and he lost his girlfriend, and, his life kind of went to crap. And I see this a lot with people in practice. They will, instead of taking any ownership, right, instead of looking at themselves, they'll project it outward. So his brain connected this crash, even though, in my opinion, it was caused by him. He focused on this crash and basically blamed all of his life's problems on this crash, which is what a narcissist does. They don't ever look inside, right? And he says he tried this, he says he tried that, anger management, all of this. Doesn't sound like much of it worked. And there again, probably because he's not taking ownership, he's not taking responsibility. Hallmarks of narcissism. So there you have it, guys. I'm excited. I'm going to go have a drink for Gwyneth and celebrate. And I'm just really, really glad that sometimes there's still justice and sometimes the legal system actually works. I don't think it works all the time, but there are still times it works. And I think today is one of those examples. If you like this, if you found it helpful, please click below, like, share, and subscribe. As always, hug yourself from me, and we'll see you next time.